All right. So when we talk of qualitative research methodology, we have to make sure, that we have to be acquainted, to this type of method. No? When we talk of qualitative research, this is a research that has an emphasis, on what people do and what people say. Now, when we say qualitative research, it's more about collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data that you observe, from people's actions, what you hear from people's stories, and what people say about of their experience. It's different from quantitative research because it's more concerned with meanings, concepts, definitions, characteristics, metaphors, symbols, and descriptions of things. When we say qualitative research, we favor more what is the we favor more what we want, to interpret, what people would like to say to you. We favor those data. Unlike in quantitative research, we only focus on numbers. We focus on quantified responses. Okay. Now, therefore, if qualitative research is understanding the meaning, okay, of people's experience, the meaning of phenomenon, the meaning of everything, it is subjective in nature, meaning the type of research, or this type of research, is subjective. Okay, it means that it may hold several realities that may be true for me, but not true for everyone. So therefore, the data collection, in qualitative research may be different, okay? May be different from the one that we use in quantitative research. Because in qualitative research, we are doing, in-depth interviews. We will be doing focus group discussion. Okay? Therefore, this type of research is aimed towards exploring, okay? Exploring the minds of the people that you study. Therefore, the analysis, and data collection is open-ended. It's continuously expanding. It's continuously growing. Now, there are strengths and weaknesses, in using qualitative research. When we say strength, the strength of qualitative research is that it's good, for examining feelings and motivations. It will also allow you to dive in deeper, to the meaning of data. You don't just have a clear you don't just have a visible view of numbers, but rather you dive deep, to the meaning of data. It also provides you insights into the real life situation. Okay, because in qualitative research, you tend to capture, okay, the reality that you are exploring. But qualitative research has its own weakness. Okay? Because analyzing data, collecting data for the strengths, or collecting data in qualitative research would require extra time, voluminous data, meaning there's so much data and you have to read and reread it. It's difficult, to manage it, if your data is too many. So sometimes in qualitative research, data is or the respondents is few. There are few, okay? Hence, you cannot apply it to the whole population. Okay? Now, there's also the problem of the volume of data, because there are lots, of information that we process in qualitative research. Okay? And also, it involves, a complex analysis. Okay? complex analysis. Now, the time required for doing qualitative research is also very, very taxing. It means it will require more time for you to do research when you do qualitative research. Now, here are some of the principles in qualitative research. Okay, we say that qualitative research is about meaning. Okay, so we get over the idea that research means counting. Okay, which that one is part of the prime focus of quantitative research. The second one is the focus is on subjective experience. No? Qualitative research use the data, okay, from the meanings that people use in their everyday lives, in what they say or what they think. Okay, because meaning resides in the language. People convey the meaning of their lives, the meaning of their experience in what do you call this? The meaning in language. Qualitative research is largely involved in studying text. Okay, so the best device for collecting and analyzing qualitative data or information will be our brains, our memory. So we got to have a sharp memory for doing our qualitative research. Now, observations and findings depend on understanding the contexts and the meaning held by the people in those contexts and the meanings of the things in those contexts. And observations are typically of interactions in smaller groups or selectively defined settings. Well, sometimes exploration is very often the motive of qualitative research, but not always, right? Now, in qualitative research, it provides you sometimes ideographic, meaning it's just there to graph, to take a picture, of explanations. Okay, and usually qualitative research is typically inductive. All right, it's typically inductive, and the research is reflexive, meaning it reflects, the focus that you take into a particular discretion. Therefore, it focuses on that particular aspect. Okay, and the research is reflexive, meaning you just focus on one part. Therefore, you as a researcher should be reflexive as well and understand that there may be multiple realities that may exist. Okay, now let's go to another slide or to our next slide. Now, researchers in qualitative research constantly ask, am I really depicting the social world given the ways I am collecting and analyzing my data? Because qualitative research is subjective in nature. Sometimes the way the researchers like us convey the meaning of the world might be different from what is really happening from the world, because that might reflect my own prejudice, my own presupposition, etc. Okay? Now, as we have said earlier, the reasoning in qualitative research is inductive reasoning. When we say inductive reasoning, okay, we start from particular observations, and identify its pattern to develop a tentative hypothesis, that which will be used to develop theory. So the movement of our knowledge is from specific to general. Okay? So the focus of qualitative research is to understand the individual pieces of information and jive them together, weave them together, so that they form a sensible pattern and hopefully a hypothesis and a theory. Unlike unlike quantitative research, because in quantitative research, the theory, no, is being tested, no, to your hypothesis. Okay, and the hypothesis is verified by your observation and is confirmed, no? And your observations are confirmed. So that's how quantitative research, no? It goes on a deductive reasoning pattern. Okay? Unlike qualitative research, it goes on a like this, no? Or a pattern like this. Okay? Now, here's the major differences in quantitative and qualitative research, no? When we say quantitative research, this is deductive, as I have explained a while ago. And in research, qualitative research, the process is inductive, meaning the focus here is to get your data, okay, first, and develop it into a theory. Unlike in research process, you first identify the theory and then you apply it to your findings, okay, and confirm it. For this one, for quantitative research, you measure it, no? You measure objective facts. But on the other hand, in qualitative research, you document the reality, social reality, and that meaning is constructed. The focus of quantitative research is on variables, while on qualitative research, the focus is about in-depth meaning. Okay? Now, the process, no, of quantitative research, no, is separated from the researchers' values. No? So you remove your own values out of the research process in quantitative research. But it's different when we do in qualitative research, because in qualitative research, okay, we imply the values that we apply to our paper or to our research. In quantitative research as well, we do statistical analysis, while in qualitative research, we do thematic analysis. The structure is highly structured research process for quantitative, but in qualitative, it's loosely structured. So anything goes, okay, in qualitative research. Okay. For quantitative research, the approach is particularistic, okay, more specific about your data. But in qualitative research, your focus is holistic. So you look in the whole picture of your data. Okay, and you look, no, on the intimacy of your data. And you need to generalize it to population for quantitative research. Okay? But qualitative research, no, you generalize, no, the properties and the context of your findings to another setting. So when do you use qualitative method? Okay, well, number one, when your variables cannot be quantified. Number two, if you want to observe or understand your variables in their most natural setting. Okay? And the variables that you study are real, are studied over real time. And when studying intimate details of roles, processes, and groups, and when your paramount objective is understanding. Now, what are the skills needed for qualitative research? First, you need to have a requisite knowledge and skills about methodology, setting, and the nature of the issue. Number two, you need to be aware, no, of your own bias, assumption, expectations, and values. Number three, you must be empathic, intelligent. No? When we say intelligent, you are mindful, energetic, and interested in listening. So you need to listen more when you do qualitative research. Okay? And you must be open to embrace multiple realities because of the fact that qualitative data is subjective in nature. All right? So you must be prepared to produce detailed, comprehensive, and sometimes lengthy reports, because writing qualitative research may be tedious, would entail a lot of writing. So you need to prepare detailed reports. Okay? Okay, for a while. Now, qualitative research, no, however, quickly exhausts resources and time. Okay, it's tiring to do qualitative research, to be honest. Okay, therefore, it is ideal to limit the amount of your data that you collect, because in qualitative research, as they say, size does not matter, but it's what you do with the data, on how you understand the data. Okay, so in doing qualitative research, you have to be very clear about the research focus, and you have to write down, no, your ideas until it gets more specific. No? And lastly is to concentrate on most important issues and not others. Start writing specific questions that you want to answer. Now get even more specific, no, and reduce the additional information. That ends our discussion, okay, for the introduction in qualitative research.